They say laughter is the purest sound of happiness. But what if the laughter you hear isn't meant for you? Imagine this: the woman you know, your girlfriend, wife, or even close friend, suddenly laughs in a way you haven't heard before. Not the polite chuckle she gives you, not the casual smile you're used to, but a deep, playful laugh that seems alive in a way that makes your stomach twist. Why does it sound different? Why does she laugh more when she's on the phone with someone else? This isn't just about jealousy, it's about psychology. Our brain betrays us in tiny ways, and laughter is one of the easiest giveaways of emotional connection. Scientists call it paralinguistic leakage, the hidden emotions that slip out in the tone, rhythm, or intensity of a laugh. And when that laugh is shared more with someone else than with you, it may reveal more than words ever could. But is it always a sign of something dark, or could it be innocent? Let's break it down. Stay till the end, because what you'll discover will forever change the way you interpret someone's laugh. The psychology of laughter. Laughter. On the surface, it seems so innocent, just a sound we make when something feels funny or lighthearted. But if you peel back the layers, you realize laughter is not random. It's a social signal. A weapon. A confession. And sometimes, a betrayal. Psychologists agree that laughter is rarely about jokes. In fact, research by Dr. Robert Provine, a neuroscientist who studied thousands of laughs, discovered that less than 20% of laughter actually happens after something funny. The rest. It's about connection. People laugh to bond, to signal trust, to create intimacy. In other words, laughter tells you who someone feels closest to. Now, think about this: if a woman laughs harder, louder, or more freely with someone else, what is her brain really saying? Our subconscious doesn't fake the depth of a laugh. A forced laugh is shallow, short, mechanical. But a genuine one, it's messy. It leaks out in snorts, giggles, and unrestrained tones that feel raw and alive. And if you notice she saves that kind of laughter for someone else, it's a psychological clue that her emotional energy is being invested outside of you. But here's where it gets darker. Laughter is also a mirror of power. Studies in social psychology reveal that people laugh more in the presence of those they find dominant, attractive, or emotionally engaging. That's why new relationships often sound like endless giggling, because laughter is the body's way of saying, "I want to be closer to you. I want you to like me back." Have you ever noticed how our laugh changes with different people? With friends, it may be light and casual. With family, more restrained. But with that one person on the phone, the tone deepens, stretches, and lingers. It almost has a flirtatious rhythm. This is where psychology becomes uncomfortable. Because the laugh you hear can sometimes be an unintentional signal of attraction. To the untrained ear, laughter is harmless background noise. But to a careful observer, it's like a hidden code. The pauses, the intensity, the frequency, each detail reveals the level of emotional investment. And in relationships, that difference is crucial. If you're not hearing the best of her laughter, someone else probably is. And here's the paradox: the more people try to hide their secrets, the more their laughter betrays them. Why? Because you can control your words, but you can't fully control your natural reactions. A laugh slips out before the brain has time to censor it. That's why psychologists call it an emotional fingerprint. It exposes what the conscious mind wants to keep hidden. So the next time you hear her laughing on the phone, ask yourself, is this the laugh I know, or is it the laugh she reserves for someone else? Emotional leakage, when laughter betrays feelings. In psychology, there's a chilling term: emotional leakage. It means that no matter how carefully we try to hide our feelings, small cracks in our behavior expose the truth. A glance, a tone, a laugh. The subconscious slips out, revealing what the conscious mind desperately tries to bury. Laughter is one of the most common leaks. Why? Because it happens fast, without filters. You can fake a smile, you can rehearse your words, but laughter erupts from deep inside the limbic system, the part of the brain tied to emotion and instinct. It's raw. It's real. And that's why it betrays people so easily. Think of it like this: imagine two conversations. In one, a woman talks to you. Her laughter is polite, short, predictable. In the other, she talks to someone else. Suddenly, her voice rises, her laugh lingers, there's a softness in the tone. She doesn't realize it, but her nervous system is broadcasting her excitement. This is emotional leakage in its purest form. Psychologists studying microexpressions, tiny facial movements that flash for just a fraction of a second, found that suppressed feelings almost always find a way out. Laughter works the same way. If she feels joy, attraction, or emotional intimacy with another person, her laughter will carry those emotions whether she intends it or not. Here's a disturbing case study. A married woman once claimed she had no feelings for her male co-worker. Yet in recorded interactions, she laughed at nearly every sentence he spoke, even ones that weren't jokes. Why? Because her laughter wasn't responding to humor, it was responding to him. She wasn't laughing at what was said, but at who said it. That subtle difference exposed her emotional investment long before her words did. Now, here's where it becomes unsettling for anyone paying attention. Emotional leakage is not about one laugh, it's about the pattern. Occasional giggles with friends are normal. But when laughter becomes frequent, unusually intense, or reserved for one specific person, it's no longer casual. It's a sign of psychological attachment. And the body often joins in. Notice the shifts, leaning closer to the phone, touching her hair while she laughs, lowering her voice as though sharing a secret. Each of these cues adds layers to the laughter, turning it from a harmless sound into a roadmap of hidden emotions. But what makes laughter especially dangerous is that most people dismiss it. It feels too trivial to question. Yet history of psychological research shows that the smallest leaks, an odd laugh, a misplaced smile, an unnecessary giggle, are often the earliest red flags in infidelity. By the time the words catch up, the emotions are already far gone. So ask yourself, when she laughs, who is she really laughing with, and who is she laughing for? Sometimes the body whispers what the mouth refuses to say. The social role of laughter, attraction or innocence. Laughter, at its surface, seems harmless. It's what friends share at a joke, what co-workers use to ease tension, what strangers exchange to break the ice. But beneath that cheerful mask lies something far more complex. Psychology calls laughter a social glue, a way for humans to bond, connect, and signal safety. And sometimes, it's also a weapon of seduction. Think about it, we rarely laugh the same way with everyone. With a boss, it's polite and controlled. With a best friend, it's loud and free. With a stranger we're attracted to, it becomes softer, warmer, and often exaggerated. Each variation is a code, a signal sent out to the other person. The question is, what's being communicated when a woman laughs more with someone outside her relationship? Researchers have found that laughter plays a huge role in mating behavior. In countless studies, women reported being more attracted to men who could make them laugh, while men reported being more attracted to women who laughed at their jokes. That exchange, joke and laughter, isn't just playful, it's a subtle dance of attraction. One signals, the other responds. It's almost primal. Now, here's the dark twist. Laughter can look identical on the surface, but its intention changes everything. A woman may laugh at her co-worker's silly remark because she genuinely finds it funny, or because deep inside, she craves his attention. Sometimes even she doesn't fully know the difference, because laughter is as much instinct as choice. But patterns reveal the truth. If her laughter is consistent, enthusiastic, and especially reserved for one person, it begins to resemble courtship behavior. Evolutionary psychologists suggest that laughter lowers defenses and creates intimacy faster than words alone. In other words, when laughter is flowing freely, emotional closeness is silently being built. Take this unsettling example. In a long-term study of couples, researchers discovered that partners who felt emotionally disconnected at home often compensated by laughing more with people outside the relationship. The laughter was not about humor, it was about escape. It was a form of psychological relief, a way of feeding unmet emotional needs without admitting them. And yet, here's where the danger lies. To outsiders, laughter looks innocent. No one accuses someone of infidelity because of a giggle on the phone. But innocence is exactly what makes it so powerful. It's a mask, a shield. A cover for feelings too dangerous to say out loud. So when you hear laughter, the real question is not, what's the joke, But what does this laughter mean? Is it social bonding? Harmless fun? Or is it an unconscious confession of deeper emotions, slipping past the defenses of words? Psychology teaches us this chilling truth: in human interaction, laughter is rarely neutral. It either keeps relationships safe or threatens to destroy them. Hidden signals, the body language behind laughter. They say the body never lies. Words can be chosen, laughter can be disguised, but the body always betrays the truth. When it comes to laughter, especially in conversations that seem too warm, too frequent, what matters even more than the sound is the body language that accompanies it. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this: a woman on the phone, her lips curled into a smile that lingers long after the conversation has ended. Her posture is relaxed, her voice slightly softer, her head tilted as if she's leaning closer, even though the person isn't physically there. This is where laughter shifts from innocent reaction to hidden signal. Psychologists have studied micro-expressions, the fleeting, uncontrollable flashes of emotion that reveal what someone truly feels. When laughter is genuine and carefree, the eyes crinkle, the muscles around them tighten, and the whole face participates. But when laughter is mixed with attraction, something different happens. There's a softness in the gaze, an unconscious tilt of the head, even a subtle touch to the lips or hair. These are not just random gestures, they are ancient signals of intimacy. In fact, body language experts point out that laughter often comes paired with synchrony. If two people are sharing laughter, they begin mirroring each other, matching tone, pace, even movements. This kind of mirroring builds trust and emotional closeness, often without either person realizing it. And if this happens consistently between two people, it can create a private world, a silent understanding, even if words remain innocent. Let's get darker. In some cases, laughter acts like a smoke screen. Imagine a woman who feels guilt. She doesn't want her partner to suspect anything, so she overcompensates. She laughs louder on the phone to make the conversation seem casual, even meaningless. But her body betrays her, the way she shields the screen with her hand, the way she turns her body away when laughing, the way she lowers her voice mid-sentence. These aren't just quirks, they are defensive maneuvers. They are signs that what's being said matters more than she wants to admit. Here's a chilling fact: in deception research, scientists found that people trying to hide something often leak the truth through microbehaviors. A quick glance to the side, a nervous adjustment of clothing, a suppressed smile that appears at the wrong time. Laughter, when paired with these slips, becomes less about joy and more about concealment. And so, laughter plus body language becomes a code. Alone, it may mean nothing. But together, they reveal a pattern of intimacy or secrecy. The next time you notice someone laughing, don't just listen to the sound. Watch the posture, the eyes, the timing. Because the body whispers truths the mouth will never confess. In the dark study of human psychology, this is the ultimate warning: it's not the laugh itself, but the way it's carried, that exposes the heart's hidden ties. When laughter turns into emotional betrayal, laughter, at its core, is meant to connect. It's the sound of safety, of trust, of shared joy. But what happens when that laughter, the same sound that once bonded two people, starts belonging to someone else? That's when laughter quietly transforms into betrayal. Not always physical, not always visible, but emotional, and emotional betrayal cuts deeper than most people realize. Think about this: a woman once laughed hardest at her partner's jokes. Inside jokes, silly comments, even awkward moments would spark a shared laugh that meant, "This is ours." But then, over time, that same laughter starts echoing through her phone, late at night, or in hushed tones during the day. Her partner no longer hears it, someone else does. And in that subtle shift, trust begins to fracture. Psychologists call this emotional infidelity, the moment when intimacy, even without touch, is shared with someone outside the relationship. Studies have shown that emotional betrayal often hurts more than physical betrayal because it means the deepest, most vulnerable parts of a person, their humor, their secrets, their emotional comfort, have been given away. And laughter, strangely enough, is one of the first indicators. Consider this chilling truth: laughter isn't just noise. It releases dopamine, the brain's reward chemical. It literally wires two people closer together. When laughter is consistently shared with someone, the brain begins to associate that person with pleasure, joy, and comfort. So while it may look harmless on the surface, just a few jokes, a few chuckles, it is, in fact, laying the foundation of attachment. And once that foundation is strong, betrayal no longer needs to be physical, it already exists in the emotional bond. Now, let's step into the darker side. Betrayal rarely begins with a dramatic act, it begins quietly. A laugh too warm. A conversation too frequent. A phone call too private. It builds brick by brick, until one day the relationship standing beside it feels empty. The partner left behind begins to notice, not because of words, but because of the silence where laughter used to be. The tragic irony. Most people don't even realize it's happening until it's too late. The betrayed one senses the shift but can't prove it. The betrayer tells themselves it's just talking, just laughing. Yet deep down, both know something sacred has already crossed a line. So here's the dark truth: when laughter leaves their home and finds a new host, it often signals the death of emotional exclusivity. And once emotional betrayal begins, it almost always paves their way for deeper betrayal, because intimacy, once transferred, rarely comes back whole. The lesson: never underestimate the power of laughter. It's not just sound. It's currency. And when it starts being spent elsewhere, it means the relationship's emotional bank is already bankrupt.